May 26th, 1941. 23:15 hours. Bletchley Park, England. A dimly lit room, the hum of machines cutting through the still night air. A young mathematician, Alan Turing, stares at the Enigma machine's tangled code. His fingers hover above the keyboard. There's only one question left. Can they crack the code before Hitler makes his next move? May 27th, 1941. Woe 10 hours. The cold, sterile environment of the cryptography center contrasts sharply with the growing tension. Turing's fingers tap on the keys, each stroke a race against the relentless march of time. The Enigma machine, which Hitler believes is foolproof, is a series of rotating wheels, each coded letter forming an unbreakable barrier. But for Turing, this is no puzzle. This is a matter of life and death. The operators at Bletchley Park work relentlessly, eyes fixed on the mechanical monstrosity that is the Enigma. Outside, the night is quiet, but the storm of war is never far. As the world spins toward the inevitable clash, every minute counts. 01:25 hours. Bletchley Park, once a tranquil country estate, has transformed into the heart of Britain's most secretive operation. Here, mathematicians, linguists, and chess champions work tirelessly to decipher the encoded messages of the German military. But it is not just the Enigma that poses a challenge. It is the sheer volume of encrypted messages flooding in from the Nazis, each one potentially signaling a new move in the war. At the center of this storm stands Alan Turing, a man who, despite his brilliant mind, remains largely misunderstood. With his uncanny ability to think in patterns and probabilities, Turing is poised to unlock the secrets of the Enigma. But it is a race against time. The information they decrypt could alter the course of the war or doom them to failure. Every hour is precious, and the enemy is relentless. In the grand scheme of the war, the Enigma machine is more than just a code. It's a weapon. Hitler's cryptographic system, though seemingly unbreakable, is the backbone of his military strategy. The machine encodes everything from troop movements to the location of critical supply lines. The Nazis rely on it for coordination, but they are blind to its fatal flaw. They trust it too much. Turing's breakthrough could change everything. If he can find the flaw, if he can crack the code, it will be a game changer. The Allies will gain access to the heart of the Nazi war machine, potentially tipping the balance in their favor. But failure could result in disaster. An entire fleet could vanish, unnoticed by the British, and the war could be lost before it even truly began. In the face of an overwhelming enemy, history often turns on the smallest of hinges. Turing, with his genius and his troubled past, stands as the only hope to break the Enigma code. His team, a group of cryptographers and mathematicians working long hours under immense pressure, is fueled by more than just patriotism. They are driven by the knowledge that the world itself hangs in the balance. But Turing's brilliance alone may not be enough. The solution lies not just in his mind, but in the coordination of many, each individual playing their part, each discovery feeding into the next. The stakes could not be higher, yet the clock is ticking, and with every passing second the world edges closer to a tipping point. Then it happens, a breakthrough. A single quiet moment where Turing, alone at his desk, stares at the machine and the possibilities it presents. The key to the Enigma code is not hidden in the machines, but in the messages themselves. He realizes the key is within the patterns, the structure. His fingers fly over the keyboard, typing rapidly as the solution begins to unfold. The Enigma's seemingly impossible complexity is cracked, reduced to mere numbers and symbols. The code is broken. The Germans are no longer invincible. For the first time in months, there is hope. The machine hums quietly in the background, but the room is charged with a sense of awe. The team, exhausted but triumphant, knows they have changed the course of the war. With the Enigma's code cracked, the Allies now have access to a wealth of intelligence, giving them an unprecedented advantage over the Nazis. Yet, the victory is bittersweet. The world may never know the full extent of their achievement. The secrecy surrounding Bletchley Park means their work will remain hidden for years to come, their names buried beneath the weight of classified files. The consequences of their success will ripple through history, but only a handful of individuals will ever know the full story. As dawn breaks over the quiet fields of Bletchley Park, the Enigma machine remains silent. The operators return to their desks, knowing that the world will never fully grasp the magnitude of their work. Yet in the history books, in the whispers of war, there is a quiet recognition. Sometimes, the most significant victories are the ones won in silence, where history is rewritten in hidden codes and untold stories. For Alan Turing and his team, the war was won not on the battlefield, but in the hum of machines, the tap of keys, and the relentless pursuit of a solution that could change everything. The weight of the world presses down on Turing's shoulders. The code is cracked, but he knows the job isn't finished yet. The machines whir behind him, but his mind is consumed with what comes next. For every second they waste, an enemy ship may sail, a bomber squadron may take off, or a German general may give the order to attack. The brilliance of Turing's mind shines brightly, but it's not enough to secure the victory alone. The team around him, tired and stretched thin, is equally invested. Gordon Welchman, a brilliant mathematician and cryptanalyst, works alongside him, scrutinizing the machine's output, verifying each step. Dilly Knox, the linguist and veteran codebreaker, contributes his expertise, interpreting the fragments of information the machine spits out. They are more than colleagues, they are a family, driven by one singular purpose: stop Hitler's next move. Turing knows that victory depends on speed. The clock is ticking faster now, and the weight of the moment feels suffocating. For all the advances in technology, human frailty remains the true enemy. Can they sustain their concentration for one more night? The Enigma machine was no ordinary cipher. It was a masterpiece of complexity designed by the Germans to ensure their messages remained secret. Composed of rotors and a series of electrical circuits, it scrambled messages in a way that seemed impossible to decrypt. But Turing's mind was different. His ability to grasp complex mathematical concepts and think in abstract terms allowed him to see patterns where others saw only chaos. With the help of his team, he focused on one critical aspect of the Enigma machine: the key setting, the arrangement of rotors that changed daily. If they could deduce this key, the Enigma's code could be cracked. Yet deciphering the key setting was no small feat. Even with the best code breakers in the world at Bletchley Park, the odds were against them. There were 150 quintillion possible key combinations, and they had only hours to get it right. For every message intercepted, there was a new code waiting to be solved, each one potentially signaling Hitler's next devastating move. In Berlin, the German High Command remains confident. They have no idea their secure communications are vulnerable. To them, the Enigma machine is the ultimate safeguard, a guarantee that their plans remain hidden from the Allies. General Erich Raeder, the head of the Kriegsmarine, is unaware that the British have already intercepted his latest orders. His fleet sailing towards an Allied convoy is still under the belief that they can strike at will without fear of retaliation. Meanwhile, at Bletchley Park, Turing and his team are already several steps ahead. They know Raeder's fleet's position, its course, and the impending attack. The key they are about to unlock is not just the solution to the puzzle. It is the key to turning the tide of the war. The irony is thick. The Nazis, with all their confidence in their impenetrable systems, are being outwitted by a small team of code breakers working in secret. The machine that was supposed to secure their victory is now their greatest vulnerability. In the darkness of Bletchley Park, there is no cheering, no grand celebration. The team understands that even though they have cracked the Enigma code, Their victory is still quiet and unseen. The world outside is unaware that, in this unassuming country estate, history is being rewritten. But Turing's victory isn't just about defeating the Germans. It's about the individual's ability to think differently. His brilliance wasn't in decoding the enigma, it was in approaching the problem from a completely novel perspective. Turing's mind works in ways that even the most experienced codebreakers can't comprehend. He doesn't just see patterns in the codes, he sees them in the very structure of the war itself. The war that was being fought in front of him was nothing more than a complex puzzle waiting to be solved. For Turing, the larger philosophical truth emerges. History isn't just shaped by generals and politicians. It's shaped by the quiet, often unappreciated work of individuals. History is made by those who think differently, who approach the world from angles no one else can see. The room falls silent as Turing's fingers tap away at the keyboard. The breakthrough has come. The Enigma machine, the seemingly impenetrable force that has guarded Nazi secrets for years, is now cracked. A hush falls over the team. The immense pressure they've been under finally seems to lift. Yet the task is far from complete. As Turing stares at the decrypted message in front of him, the true significance of the moment hits him. This is not just a triumph of intelligence, it is the culmination of countless hours of labor, sacrifice, and collaboration. They've done the impossible. The Nazis' most powerful weapon of secrecy is now in Allied hands. But even as the team celebrates their success, the reality of their situation sets in. This moment, this victory, is one they cannot share with the world. The information they have uncovered will be kept secret for decades, buried beneath layers of classified documents and wartime secrecy. The team at Bletchley Park knows the true extent of their success. They have not only cracked the Enigma code, they have altered the entire course of the war. With this newfound intelligence, the Allies will now be able to predict German movements, intercept crucial communications, and counter their enemies' every move. In the coming days, the information extracted from the Enigma machine will play a pivotal role in key Allied victories. The Battle of the Atlantic will shift in favor of the Allies, the D-Day landings will be better coordinated, and the tide of war will slowly begin to turn. Yet for those who were involved in this monumental task, the victory is bittersweet. Their achievement will remain a secret for years, hidden away in the archives, known only to a select few. Even Alan Turing, the mastermind behind the operation, will not be publicly recognized for his work until long after the war has ended. His reward will come too late, a recognition posthumously that speaks volumes about how history sometimes overlooks its true heroes. The Enigma machine is silent now. The war has been altered irrevocably, and yet the true nature of the victory remains obscured in the shadows. Alan Turing, Gordon Welchman, and the team at Bletchley Park will carry the weight of this success for the rest of their lives. But the world may never know the full story. The victory was won not on the battlefield, but in the quiet of a cryptographic laboratory, where the hum of machines was the only witness to the secret battle that helped shape the future of the world. And as the sun rises over Bletchley Park, the only thing left to ask is, what would the world look like if history had been different, if they had failed to crack the code in time? For Alan Turing, that answer will remain a mystery, a reminder that sometimes the most significant victories are the ones we can never fully understand. The team at Bletchley Park has made history, but behind the scenes, the personal toll is becoming clear. Turing, with his austere and solitary nature, doesn't show it, but his exhaustion is visible. He pushes himself harder than anyone, unable to stop. Every failure, every setback takes a toll. His colleagues, too, feel the pressure, their bodies and minds stretched to the breaking point. Gordon Welchman, usually calm and methodical, looks weary. His eyes, usually sharp, seem dimmed with sleeplessness. He grips his pen a little tighter, scribbling notes that may or may not lead to a breakthrough. Yet despite the fatigue the team works on day and night, their goal is clear, but so is the cost. They are not just fighting the clock, they are fighting their own body's limits. Every successful decryption comes with the price of their sanity. There is no room for error. There's only the machine. While Bletchley Park's codebreakers toil away in secret, the rest of Britain's war effort carries on with no knowledge of their contribution. In London, Prime Minister Winston Churchill meets with his generals, unaware that crucial intelligence is being gathered in the quiet halls of Bletchley. The Enigma codes contain more than just military orders. They hold the blueprint of Nazi strategy. Ryder's fleet, poised to strike against Allied shipping, would have been devastating, but not anymore. Now, with knowledge of the Nazi fleet's location and movements, the Allies can prepare a counterattack. The decrypted messages are passed along to military planners in London, though they have no idea how they were obtained. But thanks to the work done at Bletchley Park, a crucial victory is at hand. This is the unseen role that intelligence plays in warfare. No battlefield can change without the right information, but it's not just the military that benefits. The success at Bletchley Park has far-reaching implications beyond the war itself. As the hours pass, the operations at Bletchley continue without pause, but the significance of their work will echo for decades to come. The code-breaking team, led by Turing, not only cracks the enigma, but also lays the groundwork for the future of computing itself. Turing's work with the bomb, a machine designed to decipher the Enigma code, is more than just an intelligence breakthrough. It is a pioneering moment in the history of computing. His machine would eventually become a prototype for the modern computer. Although the wartime secrecy surrounding Bletchley Park means that Turing and his colleagues cannot share their work, the future will recognize their genius. Turing, often dismissed by his contemporaries, will eventually be heralded as one of the greatest minds of the 20th century. The implications of this work, however, will not be fully understood until decades later. Turing's concept of algorithms and computation will shape the very nature of technology in the coming decades, transforming everything from business to personal computing to artificial intelligence. His efforts at Bletchley were not just a military victory, they were the blueprint for a new era of technology. In the echoing silence of Bletchley Park, it's easy to forget that history is often written not in loud public moments, but in quiet, hidden victories. The men and women at Bletchley Park know that their work will remain secret for years, maybe forever. Their triumphs will never be broadcast on the front page of newspapers. No parades will celebrate their contributions. No medals will be awarded in front of a cheering crowd. Yet they are the silent heroes who changed the course of history. They know that their battle was fought not with guns or bombs, but with intellect and logic. Their weapons were their minds, their ability to see patterns and make sense of chaos. And perhaps that's the greatest legacy they leave behind. A reminder that in war, it is often not the loudest or most visible forces that win, but the quiet, unnoticed contributions that shift the balance of power. The victory at Bletchley Park is a victory of the mind over the machine, a victory that, in many ways, echoes throughout history. The team at Bletchley Park has done the impossible. The Enigma code is cracked. As the final pieces of the puzzle fall into place, the weight of the moment settles in. There is no immediate celebration, no grand gestures. There is only the quiet satisfaction of a job well done. Turing and his team are exhausted, their eyes heavy with the burden of what they have achieved. But as they stare at the decryption machine, there's a fleeting moment of relief. The Germans are no longer invincible. The war is no longer a one-sided struggle. But even in victory, the war is far from over. This victory, though monumental, is but one small part of the larger conflict. And while the Allies now have the upper hand, the The cost of this victory is something the world will never fully comprehend. As the day wears on, the team at Bletchley remains focused. They know the war isn't won with one code cracked. There are still battles to fight, still messages to decode, still strategies to foil. Yet the breakthrough they've achieved today will be remembered, not in medals, not in history books, but in the quiet reverence of those who know the truth. Their names will be forgotten by the public, but the legacy they leave will resonate through time. Turing will not be honored for his role in this operation during his lifetime. His groundbreaking work on computing will be ignored by many, even as his code-breaking efforts shift the tide of the war. Yet, his brilliance will outlast him. History will eventually catch up to the reality of his contributions. But for now, the victory remains silent, hidden from the world, but no less important. The sun has long since risen, casting light on the quiet estate of Bletchley Park. Alan Turing and his team have won a war that the world will never truly understand. Their victory was achieved not through force or violence, but through intellect, determination, and an unwavering commitment to breaking the seemingly impossible. As the machines at Bletchley Park sit idle, their work is done, at least for now. The world will move on and the war will continue. But for Alan Turing and his team, there is no fame, no recognition. There is only the quiet satisfaction of knowing that they changed history in ways no one will ever fully grasp. As Turing gazes out the window, perhaps he wonders, what would have happened if the enigma had remained unsolved? Would the world have been different? Would the war have been lost? The answer is locked away, just as the code once was. But for now, the victory is theirs, and it will remain forever in the shadows of history. The operation is far from over. The code is cracked, but now comes the real challenge, exploiting it. The decrypted messages have to be translated and analyzed, piecing together the vast web of military plans the Nazis are orchestrating across Europe. Turing's mind races. There's no time for celebration. The solution was just a step. The real victory comes from understanding what it means. The team is scattered, working at different machines, translating the mess of information coming in. John Tiltman, the experienced cryptanalyst, struggles with the accuracy of some of the decrypted messages. His patience wears thin as he crosses out errors, trying to verify the authenticity of the intercepted communication. The codebreakers' fingers fly over their keyboards, their exhaustion apparent, but their minds sharp, every moment crucial. But there's a deeper psychological toll at play. For some, the weight of breaking Enigma's code feels like a moral dilemma. They know the magnitude of the information they're dealing with. They understand that even the smallest of leaks could jeopardize the entire mission. The Enigma machine itself, with its seemingly incomprehensible series of cryptographic settings, is only part of the story. The real genius at work is in the minds of the code breakers who are working to make sense of the encoded fragments. The machine could decode the letters, but it couldn't interpret the military plans hidden within. Turing, though a brilliant mathematician, isn't the only one at Bletchley Park capable of interpreting the messages. Joan Clark, one of the few female cryptanalysts at Bletchley, is another key player in decrypting the codes. She possesses an uncanny ability to detect patterns in the ciphertext. Her contribution is invaluable, as she works tirelessly alongside Turing to ensure the messages are fully decoded and correctly interpreted. Theirs is a world where human intelligence and mechanical ingenuity come together. The codebreakers are the unsung heroes of the war, working silently in the background, guided only by the need to stop the Nazis from gaining a deadly advantage. The most important thing, Turing always reminds them, is not just to crack the code, but to understand it. The war hinges on these moments. The breakthroughs at Bletchley Park are just one part of the broader Allied strategy. With Enigma cracked, the British can intercept critical communications from the Germans. But their victory has to be more than just deciphering messages. It must be actionable intelligence that can be used strategically in the war. One of the first opportunities for the Allies to capitalize on the Enigma breakthrough comes with the Battle of the Atlantic. For months, German U-boats have been wreaking havoc on Allied shipping routes. The British Navy has struggled to combat the U-boat threat, unable to predict where they would strike next. Now, with access to German communications, the British Navy can predict U-boat movements, giving them the upper hand in the Atlantic. The decrypted messages reveal the locations of the U-boats, allowing Allied convoys to navigate around them, saving countless lives and tons of supplies. In this way, the work at Bletchley Park shifts the balance of the war, not by a decisive battle, but by the steady stream of intelligence that makes each subsequent military maneuver more effective than the last. Each decoded message is another opportunity for the Allies to gain an edge over their enemies. Even as they make headway, the codebreakers are acutely aware of the stakes. They have cracked the most sophisticated cipher of the war, but the consequences of failure are still very real. Every success is matched with a growing weight of responsibility. The secrecy surrounding Bletchley Park means that while their work is crucial, the world may never truly know how much they sacrificed to ensure the war's success. This duality, the thrill of success juxtaposed with the knowledge that it will remain hidden, haunts them all. Turing, for all his brilliance, is still a man whose work may never be fully appreciated in his lifetime. His groundbreaking contributions to the field of computing will go unrecognized by most of the world during the war. His genius will be left in the shadows until long after the war's end. Yet, the philosophical implications of his work are vast. In many ways, Turing's efforts at Bletchley Park represent the true spirit of the war, quiet determination in the face of overwhelming odds. His victory is not just a mathematical breakthrough. It is a testament to the power of the human mind to overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. It is the realization that sometimes intelligence and insight can be the most powerful weapons in a war, far more so than brute force. As the team works tirelessly into the evening, the air is thick with the weight of their achievement. They have cracked the code, and now the final messages are being sent out to military commanders across the Allied front. The Allies have the advantage, but the war is far from over. For the team at Bletchley, the success they've achieved is bittersweet. The world will never know the full extent of their work. Their names will remain buried in the archives, their contributions overlooked. Even Turing's brilliant mind will remain largely unrecognized until years after the war's end. The tension in the air begins to lift as the day wears on. The Enigma machine is no longer the enemy. It is merely a relic of a war that is still being fought. And while the codebreakers know they've made a significant impact, they also know the true nature of war. It's never won with a single victory. It is a collection of small, quiet victories that add up to something greater. In this quiet room at Bletchley Park, history is made not in grand gestures, but in the quiet hum of machines and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. With the war still raging, the team's work continues. But as they leave the cryptography center, tired and emotionally drained, they understand something profound. They are part of a history that will never be fully revealed. The true legacy of their victory at Bletchley Park won't be known for decades. For the codebreakers, there is no celebration, no recognition. Only the knowledge that their work is a crucial part of the war effort, a victory in the shadows. The war may be won on the battlefield, but it is the unseen heroes at Bletchley Park who have ensured that victory will be possible. As they file out of the building, the team knows that their achievement will remain buried for a long time. They may never know the full extent of their impact, but they understand one thing. They have done the impossible. They have cracked the code, and in doing so changed the course of the war, and perhaps the world. As the last lights flicker out at Bletchley Park, the Enigma machine is quiet. The building that housed the minds of brilliant men and women working in secret now lies still. Their work, hidden away for years, will one day be revealed, but for now the victory remains theirs alone. In the quiet of Bletchley Park, history is made, not with weapons or armies, but with intellect, perseverance, and quiet determination. The code is cracked, the war continues. But one thing is certain: this small, secret victory will ripple through time, quietly shaping the future in ways no one could have imagined. May 27th, 1941. 21 hours. Bletchley Park, England. The hum of the Enigma machine is gone, replaced by the weight of a silent victory. The men and women who cracked the code have long since gone home, their faces etched with exhaustion, their minds forever altered by the secret war they fought. The world will never fully recognize their contributions. Not today, not tomorrow, and not for decades to come. But the victory they won at Bletchley Park is not defined by medals, parades, or fame. It is defined by the quiet brilliance of individuals who, when faced with the impossible, chose to fight not with weapons, but with minds sharper than any blade. The code was cracked. The war didn't end that day, nor did it end the day the Allies stormed the beaches of Normandy or defeated the Axis powers. But the chain of events that began with the codebreakers at Bletchley Park was crucial to tipping the balance of the war, and by extension, changing the course of history. As the sun sets on Bletchley Park, the only thing left to ask is, how many victories go unnoticed? How many quiet heroes remain in the shadows, shaping the world we know without ever being seen? For Alan Turing, Gordon Welchman, Joan Clark, and the countless others at Bletchley, the answer will forever remain hidden, their legacy etched into the fabric of history by the very machine they defeated. The world will move on, but they will always be the silent architects of the victory that shaped the world.